We are getting closer and closer to the fall off, step by step. We just got another Might Delete Later vlog by J. Cole with a lot of interesting news on the new album, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday, details everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So y'all remember a couple of weeks ago when we got the first vlog, the first Might Delete Later vlog that was kind of documenting a lot of the stuff happening on tour with Drake on the Big as the What leg of the It's All a Blur tour that they, did. And we also had a couple of Easter eggs with him signing that autograph on that wall and a new song, the Might Delete Later as we called it, which was actually pretty dope. But now there's a new one. We have another Might Delete Later, this time volume 2, which is very exciting. That means that he's continuing this series and it's not just a one-time thing, and a lot of interesting stuff was said in that vlog and also heard. So let's break this down, let's go through it, and let's see what interesting stuff we can decipher and then talk about what this means for the album. So we actually have 3 new snippets in this one. We have one that is actually pretty long with him riding the bike and kind of bragging about his career, which is sounding really cool. I really liked it. We also have another snippet, this time with Boz, and I think that synergy works very well again. And the last one we have was in the outro where J. Cole is rapping over Dipset's I'm Ready beat, which was also pretty cool. If anyone called that number, by the way, let me know, because I want to know who picks up, when you call that number, if it's just a dead end or something. But also in that vlog, it wasn't just a bunch of new snippets, it was 11 minutes in length, so actually quite the lengthy video. We also get some behind the scenes looks at what he's doing. Again, we can tell that he's working on his production craft again, so he wants to get better at making beats, and I think that's a good sign. That means that we might have some production from him on his own album in the future too. He was always someone that was involved with his own production. I mean, when you go back to, Sideline Story or Born Sinner or Forest Hills Drive, not a lot of, but some of the songs had production by himself, which I thought was really cool. I mean, the number one thing being Power Trip, for example. I have a whole video of him creating that, so it's always nice to see Cole on those beats again. Now, also, we have, and I thought this was the best part of this thing, sometimes Drake has a cameo, or Yachty also did, and Drake said he's feeling like he's watching this whole album unfold, because apparently Cole is recording a lot of the stuff for the fall off on tour with Drake. I mean, this was a couple of weeks ago, obviously. This isn't like up to date like last week, but still, Drake saying that he's watching this whole thing unfold, I think is a pretty good sign when you consider that he's working on it right now. Cole also talks about having different versions of songs for the fall off, and in some cases he's saying he's had 6 different versions of a song and maybe even of a full album, and he's just not satisfied with it and wants to perfect it, which is always a good sign. Now, keep in mind, Cole dropped not even 3 years ago, so it's not like he's been on a huge hiatus. He's also dropped in the meantime, Revenge of the Dreamers 3, for example. We've also had him on a couple of features, or now on the Drake tour, the Drake feature he did for First Person Shooter. So it's not like he was gone, but I think 3 times later, it might be a very good idea to drop a new album, especially if it's the fall off, which would be his biggest last whatever album. Also, we still don't know what It's a Boy is. Everything is about the fall off, so It's a Boy is still this mysterious thing that's just floating out there. We don't know if that's the Kill Edward album. We don't know if that's, his kid or whatever. It's supposed to come before the fall off when you look at that release schedule, but I just don't see that happening the way that he's now rolling out the fall off and teasing it and not having said a word about It's a Boy or what it even might be. Now, when this thing is dropping, we're not sure. I'm guessing it might be in the summer. I mean, the off season dropped in May, so we might see a May release date again, especially if he's got some bangers like the ones we've heard for the summer. I've also read a DM from one of y'all that said that in both videos of the Might Delete Later series, the music starts at minute 4:28, so that might be a hint, but April 28th is a Sunday, so I don't see that dropping on a Sunday. but we're again fully in it. We're making those crazy theories about it. I'm very excited, you know, and we're talking about J. Cole, who's been seriously improving over the past couple of albums, and who I believe a lot of people have even said now on Twitter as we're, you know, watching this Might Delete Later Volume 2, has surpassed Kendrick or something like that. And he even had a little throwback in the Might Delete Later Volume 2 where he was, you know, back in like 2010, 2011, when he was talking about like, yo, the goal is to sit where Jay and Kanye sit at. And I feel like for his generation, he's really done that. You know, he's really had that longevity in the game. He's, you know, pushing 40 at this point, but still being relevant like that is a huge dub for him, and I just think shows the influence and the impact and the legacy that he's left. And also having Dreamville that he's like fostering as his like Jid and their boss, people that he's trying to bring up, Ari Lennox as well, Earth Gang. So those people who have their own success in their own lane, and he's just kind of like, you know, also managing them. He's really, I think J. Cole at this point has had the most perfect career that you can have as an artist, even though he's had his ups and downs. A lot of people didn't like KOD. A lot of people thought that Friday Night Lights should have been his debut album. I agree. But still, when you think of, you know, he wasn't a one-hit wonder that jumped on the scene when he was like 19 and had some crazy success. You know, it was a very slow build-up with the mixtapes and getting signed to Jay and kind of building his reputation, then becoming this kind of lyrical guy with 2014 Forest Hills Drive, or then especially For Your Eyes Only when like the SoundCloud wave was popping up, but staying true to himself. You know, all over KOD as well, where he was kind of mocking that and just, you know, pushing through with his own stuff, letting all the waves come and go, all the hypes come and go, all the trends come and go. And now he's, you know, honestly at one of the top artists of this generation, or of that older generation in this case, because we got a lot of new artists coming up. But right now, who's still active in the game, doing features, doing albums. J. Cole is honestly GOAT status considered. I mean, you can honestly argue for that. I'm not necessarily doing that. I'm saying he's up there. So I'm very excited. I think the fall off, if it is that hard, if it is that good, like he promises it to be, then this might honestly be one of his best albums, and hopefully one that people can unanimously be like, yo, that was an amazing album. J. Cole, you know, that was one of the best albums to go out with, because, you know, probably he's going out with that album. We don't know what It's a Boy is that comes before that. Maybe it's a tour, maybe it's a little snippet, maybe it's an EP or whatever. But I think the fall off will be very good. And it's all looking like it's dropping this year. The way that all of these hints are piling up, and the way that he's riding off of the success with the Drake song and the tour, I have a feeling it's dropping this year. We might see it May, summer, or even in the fall, winter. I don't care. As long as we get it, as long as it's finished, as long as there's no drama around it like with Vultures or any Kanye album, I'm very happy for a new J. Cole record. Now let me know all your thoughts on this. Do you agree with me that J. Cole has had an almost perfect, in retrospect, you know, obviously not in the moment, but perfect career for an artist? Now also his status as kind of like older brother overlooking everything, you know, going out at the right time, not trying to stay relevant. And do you think that this album is still dropping this year? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.